In our meetings together, we've talked about the importance of living in the game. When a man lives in the game, life is forcing him to think differently. There's action that has to be taken consistently. A man is thinking about the right types of problems when he's in the game. When a man is on the sidelines or just not even at the facility, nothing is moving the man. And the problems he develops, the problems he thinks about, are the wrong kind of problems. So I want to tell you about something that's, I think, a really important facet that keeps a man living in the game. And that is simply this: creating a crowd around your life. If you think about it, look at any sport. Let's take baseball. Back in the late 1800s, I believe, baseball was started. Crowds of people came and they would watch baseball players play in a park. Somebody would bring flour from their house and make the lines, even make the home run fence was just a line of flour in the ground. The crowd of people created that sport. If the crowd never came, the sport would have never blossomed and become. I think the same thing happens in our life. As men, if there's no crowd around our life, I don't think there's a reason to create anything. I don't think there's a reason to be in a game. So how does a man create a crowd? Someone asked me just last week, they said, Mark, what has been a key to this change that's happened in the last several years of your life where you live the way you live? And I said, one of the key things is I created a crowd around my life. Now, what does that look like? It looks like on Monday mornings for the last 2 years, I've met with some guys at Denny's. And we meet to just keep each other in the game. We meet as kings at a table. This is why men must meet, because frankly, if we don't have a crowd, there's no reason to show up. This is why people who are business leaders, for example, tend to keep growing. You know why? They have to. Their business has created a crowd of people around them that keep pushing them. You have to show up. Why? You have customers and employees. You have to show up. Frankly, as human beings, showing up may be the most difficult thing we do. Because see, if I don't have a crowd, no one knows if I'm not pursuing my dreams. If I don't have a crowd, no one knows the dreams that I have. And so I can let them just rot away in my heart. If I don't have a crowd, no one knows the goals that I have and if I'm pursuing them or not. So creating a crowd around our life helps us as men to do maybe the most important thing we do, which is show up. Because life is not about really being ultra successful. Life is not about being highly intelligent. It's not about being highly talented. Life is about always showing up. So here's the hesitancy I think we all have. I think our fears and insecurities would like us to not have a crowd, so no one notices when we shrink back. No one notices when we settle. Nobody notices when we just exist in our comfort zone. But when there's a crowd in my life, there are people who know the things I dream of. There are people who know the goals that I have. They know the things that I'm afraid of doing that I must step into, and they ask me about it. This is why we meet together as men. It's so that we have a crowd of people around our life that compels us to live in the game and live our best bold life. And we also meet so that we can be in the crowd for other people. Because there are people in my life, I know this, that if I don't show up, they won't show up. Sometimes in life, we just show up for someone else. I am so thankful in my life that in this season of my life, in the last several years, I've become a person that has allowed people to be in my crowd. And so I have people that cheer me on and keep me showing up, even in days where I'm like, I'm not feeling it. Because all of us have insecurities, all of us have doubt, all of us wonder if our voice matters. All of us wonder if our gift is needed. All of us have days and moments and seasons where you're like, I don't know that it really matters that I chase and pursue the dream of my heart. And in those seasons of life is where we need this crowd of people around us that help us just keep showing up. Because that's what life's about, showing up. But without a crowd, it's easy to not show up. Nobody knows. It takes guts to be a man living among a crowd of men. This is why we meet as men. So we inspire one another to keep living our best, bold life.